frantic fight unfolding to save the Maharashtra government. Uddhav's war for Maharashtra in top gear. 5 साल नहीं होगा prophecy coming true? BJP prepares for fight to the finish. Is collapse snapping at Uddhav's heels? The full, unadulterated anatomy of a rebellion. The big focus on 5 Live. Viewers, first of all, thank you for keeping India Today #1 on all big stories, especially on the big political quakes around the country. The latest being what's happened in Maharashtra. 36 minutes was the lead that India Today had on the big Maharashtra news quake before anybody else began to realize that something was breaking in the state, quaking the Uddhav Thackeray government. And that's the reason why over the next 60 minutes here on 5 Live, I'm going to take you inside the anatomy of how this rebellion started, why the Shiv Sena was caught completely off guard, and why this could mean a threat to the Uddhav government. I'm Shiv Aroor. These are the headlines. Fight for survival for Uddhav Thackeray's government. If Shinde gets 37 MLAs to rebel, the Aghadi government will fall in Mumbai. Uddhav sends 2 aides to Surat to talk to Eknath Shinde, but is not allowed to meet him. BJP MLA meets Aghadi rebels at a Surat hotel that they're staying in. Saffron party likely to move all defectors to a resort on the outskirts of Ahmedabad. Congress fighting meanwhile to keep its flock together. Kamal Nath deputed to be observer in Maharashtra. NCP chief Sharad Pawar says he's hopeful of a solution to the crisis soon. He's in Delhi still. Yashwant Sinha is the joint opposition candidate for the upcoming presidential election. BJP meet to decide on NDA name later in the evening today. Rahul Gandhi is being grilled once again. Enforcement Directorate heat on the Congress MP continues. He has been back at the ED office for the last few hours for his 5th round of questioning. Sonia Gandhi summoned on the 23rd of June. The Congress has been protesting all morning. Potboiler by the minute, the big political news quake that's taking place in Mumbai, threatening the Maharashtra government right after India Today's big news break at 8 a.m. this morning. It's been a non-stop series of twists and turns, and now the Uddhav government has called for a meeting of Shiv Sena MPs at 7 p.m. at his residence at the Varsha Bungalow. Uddhav Thackeray, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, has called for a meeting of Shiv Sena MPs at his residence in Mumbai. Ajit Pawar of the NCP will be calling on Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray at his residence at 6:30 this evening. Hectic huddle in Maharashtra to save the Uddhav government as the BJP sniffs blood and the possibility of badla against a man they believe has betrayed the age-old ties between the Shiv Sena and the BJP. Is this the big badla against Uddhav Thackeray? That's the big question. Starting 6:30 p.m., there will be big VIP arrivals at Uddhav Thackeray's residence, all in an effort to save a government that has been jolted by the biggest rebellion in the last couple of years. Paras Dhama joining me live from outside Uddhav Thackeray's residence in Mumbai. Paras, MPs of the Shiv Sena have been summoned by Uddhav Thackeray to meet at 7 p.m. Ajit Pawar meeting him at 6:30 p.m. What's happening at this stage?
Shiv, first of all, I am at the Shiv Sena Bhavan, where you can see in the visuals how the supporters have gathered around this very place to support Shiv Sena. What has happened from today morning, they are here to support that. They are here to support Uddhav Thackeray Sarkar, and they are over here to support MVA Sarkar. Right now, the situation has been tricky for MVA and Shiv Sena, as we had seen from the morning. The Eknath Shinde, the key member of Shiv Sena, left from Mumbai with 26 MLAs to Surat, and it's a big blow to MVA government and Shiv Sena government. And this is the replication that right now we can see, and this is what Shiv Sainik has been gathered in support of Uddhav Thackeray Sarkar. And plus, the main thing is that in the morning also Uddhav just had a meeting with MLAs, but we had not seen many MLAs coming over there. But now at 7 there will be an important meeting with MPs, which will be the major key point in this whole messy, tricky situation, Shiv. And but right now, for now, you can see how supporters have gathered. There are hundreds of supporters near Shiv Sena Bhavan. This is the official workplace of Shiv Sainiks, so that's why they had gathered, and they are just lending their support to Uddhav Sarkar.
Okay, so, you know, that huge crowd behind you, Paras, all the Shiv Sena supporters have arrived at the Shiv Sena Bhavan as, you know, something of a show of strength. But, you know, the numbers are looking uncomfortable for Uddhav Thackeray at this point of time. He briefly made an appearance with his supporters, but he knows that this is a serious game that's being played right now. Eknath Shinde sitting in Surat right now, you know, if he manages to somehow demonstrate the numbers, 37 is the number I think he needs to demonstrate to make this government fall. What is the mood there at Shiv Sena Bhavan?
So the mood at the Shiv Sena Bhavan is that they just want to give one more chance to Eknath Shinde. There are some people who are very angry with Eknath Shinde, but there are some people who are saying that we will give chance to Eknath Shinde because Eknath Shinde is a key member of Shiv Sena. The major part of this whole conversation, or we can see the major about the Eknath Shinde. Eknath Shinde was the most trusted person of Balasaheb Thackeray. When Balasaheb Thackeray was alive, he was the one person who has created lot of things for Shiv Sena. You know the 2019 elections where there were so many things happening around here. Eknath Shinde was the person who has gathered all the MLAs together in a hotel, and he managed to save the Sarkar over at that time. So you can imagine how Eknath Shinde will be the important key man for Shiv Sena, and why Eknath Shinde has taken this decision to go to Surat with 26 MLAs. And right now you can see the support. It's not for Eknath Shinde, it's for Shiv Sena. What has happened to Shiv Sena? They are in a mess right now. MVA government is in a mess right now. So the main thing is that just they are looking for something that can give them another chance. But BJP is not in the mood. They just want to take back Mumbai, as we can sense, because the situation is being created like
you know,
that.
Paras, you know, the Shiv Sainiks over there are saying, let's give another chance to Eknath Shinde. But Eknath Shinde has removed Shiv Sena from his Twitter bio. He's taken a very direct pot shot at Uddhav Thackeray, you know, on the subject of Hindutva and what Balasaheb Thackeray had actually wanted. It's gotten very personal now. In fact, Paras, stay with me. You know, that image live on Paras's camera shows you what it's like inside Shiv Sena Bhavan right now. In fact, outside Shiv Sena Bhavan. But I want to take you to Surat now. Stay with me, Paras. Let's go to Surat, to the Hotel Le Meridien, where Eknath Shinde and the rebel faction are currently holed up. They have been out of communication. Nobody is able to reach them on the phone. Their phones are off. Saurabh Vaktania is right outside that resort. I want to take you to Saurabh. Saurabh, what's going on? No sounds, no visual from inside, where Eknath Shinde is launching this huge rebellion.
Well, Shiv, what a situation which happened just few moments back. Let me tell you that there are total 4 gates of this particular hotel, and of the 4 gates, there are total 5 barricades have been put up by the Surat police officials. That's the second number of barricades which is put up by the Surat police official. Let me tell you what happened actually 15 minutes back. There were total 5 cars of the Shiv Sena leaders which started from Mumbai. They reached over here. There was troubleshooter Milind Narvekar, the most trusted man of Uddhav Thackeray. Second was from Thane, Ravindra Phatak, who is also a very good friend of Eknath Shinde because they both belong to Thane. So what happened is they first tried to enter from this particular opposite gate. The cops did not allow them. Then they reached out over here. Here also the cops did not allow them. Then they went straight ahead. After going straight ahead, they made a U-turn and they again came back at this particular place. What happened over his, Milind Narvekar was pretty much adamant. He clearly told the police officials that he is not going to move from this place. His party's MLAs are inside this particular hotel. He is not going to go without meeting them. The police clearly told him to remove all the vehicles from here. Then the senior police officials came in. The drama went on for over 15 to 20 minutes, Shiv. Then later on, out of 5 cars, only 1 car was allowed to go inside this particular hotel. Ravindra Phatak, the MLA from Thane, was driving the Range Rover car. Besides him was sitting Milind Narvekar, the most trusted man of Uddhav Thackeray. They also had the security of the Mumbai police officials. There were 3 police officials and other guards. All of them, Shiv, I must tell you, all of them are sitting outside. The cops did not even allow them, the police officials, to go inside the lobby. They are outside sitting on the road. And now currently only 2 people. One, the Milind Narvekar, and the second person is Ravindra Phatak, MLA from Thane. Now the meeting is going on for the last 15 minutes. But let me tell you, Shiv, what will be the discussion? Because Eknath Shinde has made it very clear that he is not going to come back. He has made a personal
Saurabh, sorry for interrupting you. Just give me 30 seconds. I want to come back to you. I want our viewers to hear what's happening at the Shiv Sena Bhavan. Let's just put the sound up on that protest.
शिव सेना जिंदाबाद हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं सम्राट शिवसेना प्रमुख बाळासाहेब ठाकरे यांचा आवाज कुणाचा उद्धव साहेब आगे बढ़ो आदित्य साहेब आगे बढ़ो
हम लोग सारी जनता महाराष्ट्र की उद्धव साहब के पीछे है, ये दिखाने के लिए हम लोग सारे इकट्ठे हो गए। वो पक्ष प्रमुख और हमारे जो नेतागण है वो देखेंगे। हमारा काम है उद्धव साहब के पीछे रहना। शिवसेना यही मैसेज देना चाहती कि सारी जनता उद्धव साहब के पीछे है।
These images, viewer, are live on India Today's cameras, coming to you from outside Shiv Sena Bhavan in Mumbai, where large numbers of Shiv Seniks, remember this is a party that has mastered the art of mobilizing its cadres. They're out there in large strength to show support for Uddhav Thackeray. More reactions coming in.
योग्य वेळी धडा शिकवल्याशिवाय राहणार नाही. शिवसेनेमध्ये गद्दारांची जागा नाही आणि वेळ पडलीच तर गद्दारांना जिथे गाडायचंय तिथे गाडल्याशिवाय राहणार नाही.
एकनाथ शिंदे यांच्यावर कारवाई केलेली आहे, गटनेते पदावरून काढलेलं आहे, प्राथमिक कारवाई आहे. पुढे कसं पाहता याकडे?
मी तुम्हाला सांगितलं शिवसेनेमध्ये गद्दारांना थारा नाही आणि याचं प्रत्युत्तर दिल्याशिवाय राहणार नाही. एवढंच मी सध्या सांगतो.
Okay, so that comment, of course, was in Marathi. We'll get that translated for our viewers in other parts of the country. But, you know, the tone, the sense of what's happening there outside the Shiv Sena Bhavan doesn't really need any translation. The mood is pro-Uddhav. It's muscle flexing. It's strength by numbers. It's show of strength. It's the tiger baring its teeth in the face of what is clearly a huge political surgical strike at the heart of the Maha Vikas Aghadi in Mumbai. The rebellion is being launched not from within Mumbai, but from far away in BJP-ruled Gujarat, in Surat, as a matter of fact, where India Today's Saurabh Vakhtania was just talking to us from, where, Eknath Shinde and his band of rebels are being, practically imprisoned inside that resort. If I may use that word, they're actually in there of their own volition, but they haven't managed to meet the Shiv Sena emissaries who've been sent by Uddhav Thackeray, which is an indicator in many ways. Saurabh, to bring you back in on our live coverage, I don't know if you can see the screen, Saurabh, but at Shiv Sena Bhavan, the numbers have swelled to a huge proportion. It's a capacity crowd outside the Shiv Sena Bhavan in Mumbai. I'm sure you've reported from there many times before. In Surat, it's a different scenario. People aren't being allowed to go in and meet Eknath Shinde. Do we know what Eknath Shinde's plan of action today is? We understand that the BJP has reached out to him. Saurabh.
Well, let me tell you, Shiv, it's a very interesting situation. First of all, there will be a massive Shiv Sena crowd outside Shiv Sena Bhavan. But where are the numbers? Let me tell you, when we saw the visuals coming out from the Shiv Sena Bhavan, only few of the MLAs were present, around 15 to 20 MLAs. But where are the rest of the MLAs? Let me tell you, the senior most BJP leaders from the Gujarat are clearly telling us to India Today that they are in directly touch with 36 Shiv Sena MLAs. This is not a small number, Shiv.
Yeah.
This is exactly the numbers which they want to topple the government in Maharashtra. Now, what the sources are clearly telling us that inside this particular hotel, there are total 26 Shiv Sena MLAs which are present, and other MLAs are right now in touch with the BJP leaders in the Gujarat and some other place. Now, what's interesting? What are the demands of Eknath Shinde? What we are learning from the sources is that the Shiv Sena has taken a very wrong step by joining hands with parties which actually they fought with, that is the Congress and the NCP. So what Eknath Shinde is right now giving a clear message to the party that they shouldn't have formed a government in Maharashtra with parties like Congress and NCP. And let me tell you, there is also second factor, Shiv, in this. During the 2019 election, when the result came in, the whole debacle, let me tell you, there was a particular group in Shiv Sena itself which was telling that Shiv Sena's Eknath Shinde is the topmost leader and he should be given a topmost post, which was not given, and therefore the whole group of Eknath Shinde was unhappy. Now clearly we can see that how Eknath Shinde along with several of the MLAs are lodged inside this particular hotel. Let me tell you, BJP leaders are also present inside. Two troubleshooter. One is Eknath Shinde, who is rebellious, and the second person is Milind Narvekar, the very trusted person of Uddhav Thackeray. Two troubleshooter inside this particular hotel. Whether they can solve the problem of Shiv Sena or it just gets worse, it will be very important to see in coming times.
Very important. It's an unfolding drama. Nobody understands the Shiv Sena's workings better than Saurabh Vakhtania, who's outside the Surat hotel. And he's going to tell you exactly what's going to happen, who is meeting Shinde, who is not being allowed to meet Shinde. All that information is only, of course, here on India Today. No fuzzy sources. We are seeing it on our cameras. But I want to go back to Paras Dama. I want to go back to Paras because he's where the action is right now, outside the Shiv Sena Bhavan. Look at those numbers that have collected there in just a short period of time. Not at all surprising. The Shiv Sena, has a large cadre base in Mumbai. It's able to mobilize them very quickly. Now, this Uddhav Thackeray will be hoping is going to swell into a large show of strength. This is the tiger that is wounded. This is the tiger that is threatened, and it has now become time for it to bare its teeth. Paras, show us what's around you. Huge crowds outside the Shiv Sena Bhavan. Show us the mood, the voices, the color.
Right. Shiv, look at the visuals. I'll just show you the visuals, what is happening around here. Look at the crowd which has gathered around here. The people are just over here to support Uddhav Thackeray. You can see how many people are over there. We are unable to just go from a single line, you can see how much support is being here for Shiv Sena. What has happened with Shiv Sena, whatever MVA is going through right now, people, the supporters doesn't care. They are here to support Shiv Sena. In large numbers they had gathered here, and you can see how they are just chanting that they are with Shiv Sena. We had spoken to some people over here and they are saying that we just want Eknath Shinde to be back. Some people are angry on him, but still some of the people which have come here or gathered over here, they are saying that they just want Eknath Shinde back, because Eknath Shinde is the most prominent leader of Shiv Sena, second in command of Uddhav Thackeray, and the most importantly, he have a major key. We will say in 2019, where the political mess started, he was the one who just handled everything very smoothly. In 2019, where all parties was hiding their MLAs, at that time Eknath Shinde handled all the thing very smoothly, and he just tried to save the government at that time also. We have some Shiv Sainik with us. We will try to speak with them what happened. Sir, क्या कहेंगे आप? एकनाथ शिंदे जी जो हैं वो सूरत चले गए हैं, एमएलएस को लेके नाराजगी है?
नहीं, हम तो उद्धव साहब जी के शिवसेना गए, जो गए तो कौवा और रहेगा तो मावड़ा, यही चाहते हैं।
अच्छा, आप चाहते हैं एकनाथ शिंदे वापस आ जाएं?
जरूर। हमें शिवसेना
गए उतने रिटर्न आए,
शिवसेना सब एक मिलजुल के रहना चाहिए, लेकिन अभी तक उनकी तरफ से ऑफिशियली कुछ स्टेटमेंट आया नहीं है।
अपनी शिवसेना एकजुटा रहने चाहिए, एकजुटा है।
आपको क्या लगता है, क्या नाराजगी होगी कि सूरत तक पहुंच जाना पड़ा?
स्टेटमेंट आएगा तो ये मालूम पड़ेगा, तब तक हम कुछ नहीं कह सकते।
दिया है उनको, और क्या चाहिए उनको? उद्धव साहब के अगेंस्ट क्या है कर रहे हैं? शिवसेना की वजह से तो आप बड़े हो गए, और इनके अगेंस्ट अगर तुम जाओगे तो नहीं चलेगा ना।
You can see there are both type of people over here. Shiv, that one person is saying that they are not angry with the Eknath Shinde. The other people are saying they are angry, but they just want Eknath Shinde to be back in Shiv Sena, because Shiv Sena is like a family to them. And the thing which started, thing started in the morning, thus they want to stop it now, because right now the situation for Uddhav Sarkar, MVA Sarkar is very critical. If something goes wrong, there can be a repercussion that they have to put right now, the repercussion they have to face. So Shiv, right now from Shiv Sena Bhavan, you can see the huge crowd supporting, huge
Paras,
crowd
I'm going to come back to you. Paras, hold on to that image. I'm going to come back to you. Keep Paras's camera open. We're going to keep those visuals on our screen. But I've got some breaking news coming in now. The next piece of breaking news in this unfolding political thriller. 3 supporters of rebel Sena leader Eknath Shinde, who are at the Uddhav Thackeray meeting earlier in the day, are remaining defiant. The Shiv Sena claimed that 3 Eknath Shinde supporters, namely Dadaji Bhuse, Sanjay Rathore and Sanjay Bangar, were earlier brought to the Chief Minister's house in Mumbai, and that they were now supporting Uddhav. Well, Eknath Shinde wants Uddhav to patch up with the BJP, is the sense we are getting now. That's what the 3 Shinde supporters have apparently conveyed to Uddhav Thackeray. Patch up with the BJP. The journalist who broke this entire saga is with us live. Kamlesh Sutar is on this outside Varsha. He's outside the Varsha residence of Uddhav Thackeray, and he joins me live. Kamlesh, the 3 supporters of Eknath Shinde who had met with Uddhav earlier, what are they saying? They're saying that the main demand is a patch-up with the BJP. Break it down for us, Kamlesh.
Well, yes, let me, put things, break up things for our viewers, Shiv. These 3 MLAs were camped in Mumbai. They were known as Dadaji Bhuse supporters. They were camped in a central Mumbai 5-star hotel where Shiv Sena MLAs escorted them to Varsha. They were brought literally from that hotel to Varsha. A message was sent with them saying that since Uddhav Thackeray has decided to break the ice, he had sent 2 of his messengers to Surat, Milind Narvekar and Ravindra Phatak there. They refused initially to talk to them, and Eknath Shinde camp said that whatever talks you have to do with these 3 representatives of us. And the primary demand that has been put by Eknath Shinde camp is that they simply cannot continue with the Congress and NCP. The Shiv Sena is at losing end. With these 2 parties, it is getting difficult increasingly to stay with them in the government. That is why they have taken this step. That has to be corrected first. They don't want to continue with the Congress and NCP in Maharashtra. And if at all they want to continue in the government, they have to patch up with the Bharatiya Janata Party and go with them. That perhaps on the ideological front and even as far as the ease is concerned, they can continue with them. So these three supporters of Eknath Shinde who have been brought here, they will be the messengers of Eknath Shinde, whereas Uddhav Thackeray had sent two of his messengers in Surat. Initially, they were not allowed to meet them, but at this point in time, Uddhav Thackeray though wants to open the doors of communication, wants Eknath Shinde to come and sit and have a word to discuss the problem that he has. But Eknath Shinde camp believes that even discussing at this point is going to lead to nowhere. They have made up their mind. This has been brewing for a long time. Eknath Shinde has been thinking of it for a long time. The way he thought that the party is being subjected to repeated
Kamlesh, what's the sense you're getting? Because, you can possibly get the better sense than anybody else because you're there. You've got the mood there right at your fingertips. Eknath Shinde has fired shots directly at Uddhav Thackeray. He's made it personal with that, tweet in Marathi also. He's talked about, the real Hindutva of Balasaheb Thackeray. Basically, it's an attack on Uddhav Thackeray pretty personally. He's apparently removed Shiv Sena from his bio on social media handles, etc. Are you sensing that the Uddhav government, is feeling like this could slip away for them? Or is there a strategy in place? Because they're not, like you rightly said, no communication lines open.
Well, even if Uddhav Thackeray has a strategy on his mind, maybe thinking of quelling the rebellion, but what is not favoring him at this point is numbers. Remember, the meeting that Uddhav Thackeray had called of the MLAs was only attended by 17 MLAs. That is the numbers are very depressing for the Shiv Sena. And out of the 17, almost 14 to 15 MLAs were only from Mumbai city. I mean, that is very worrying for the Shiv Sena. That just limits the scope of the party to Mumbai. That is what Uddhav Thackeray would never want. Eknath Shinde, a tall leader who has influence in Thane, Navi Mumbai, Kalyan, Dombivli, Palghar and the adjoining areas of Mumbai, would be a death blow for the party because he is one leader who was known as Uddhav Thackeray's Man Friday. He was one who Uddhav Thackeray would look upon to when such troubles would come. He is the resourceful leader. He is the money and muscle man in the party. He was the one who was looking after the party affairs since Uddhav Thackeray got himself busy with the chief minister's post and Aditya Thackeray also got busy with the ministerial responsibilities. Eknath Shinde was the one, but perhaps this attachment with party MLAs got him the support of MLAs that he has. Shiv, let me also tell you, I just spoke to some people from Eknath Shinde's camp in Surat. What they are saying is that they are hardly short of a couple of MLAs to reach that figure of 36, which is the 2/3 of Shiv Sena's total strength. And if they manage to do that, that would mean death blow to the Shiv Sena. If they manage to form a separate group on the floor of the house, they would skip, they would not invite the wrath of the anti-defection law. They will be allowed to have a separate group in the assembly. That is going to be difficult for Uddhav Thackeray to quell. If Uddhav Thackeray has to step in, Uddhav Thackeray has to make some compromise. The compromise perhaps would start with Uddhav Thackeray stepping down, and I don't think Uddhav Thackeray is in that mood. He also is in combative mood, and that was seen when he removed Eknath Shinde from his post. So
I'm not going to be surprised at all if he's, if he's totally combative right now, because, like we keep saying, the tiger is going to be in the mood to bare its teeth right now. It's already begun outside the Shiv Sena Bhavan. Kamlesh, keep tracking that story. We're going to keep in touch with you on the big news breaks. But, since Kamlesh was talking about the all-important numbers, and in a democracy, after all, it comes down to the numbers, let's show you where the numbers actually stand at this point of time. Let me show them to you, because on India Today, we want to keep you in perspective as far as the actual numbers are concerned. Remember, the House strength is 288. That's the number that you've got to bear in mind right now. Before the revolt, the BJP had 113, the Shiv Sena Plus had 64, the NCP Plus had 57, the Congress had 44, and 6 and 4 were the neutral and the others. Now let's show you what it looks like post-rebellion. That's a total house of 288. After this revolt, the numbers suddenly become totally different. The house strength is 285. The BJP has 113. Theoretically, with 26 of the rebels, that is the Eknath Shinde faction, that is a total of 148, which crosses the magic figure. The Shiv Sena is drastically reduced to 38 seats, the NCP remains at 57, and the Congress has 42 seats. So this is what it looks like. If 26 move over to the BJP. The total number is 37. Remember, the defection laws won't kick in only if there is a 1/3 movement across the board into another party. So 26 rebels of the Eknath Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena are now supposed to be in touch with the BJP. Let's go straight back to Paras, who's outside the Shiv Sena Bhavan, which is where the biggest reaction from the Shiv Sena is taking place right now. 3 Shinde supporters who have met Uddhav Thackeray continue to be defiant. What is Uddhav Thackeray's plan, Paras? Is he going to be coming to Shiv Sena Bhavan? We do know that he has meetings lined up, with Ajit Pawar and Shiv Sena MPs starting at about 6:30 p.m. Over the next hour, what is Uddhav Thackeray likely to do? Paras.
Shiv, there are so many meetings which has been lined up by Uddhav Thackeray because the concern right now is to handle the situation which is out of control. So that's why there are few meetings that will be attended by Uddhav Thackeray, CM Uddhav Thackeray, Ajit Pawar. It will be MPs meeting at 7 o'clock. So there are some of the busy schedule which will be attended by CM Uddhav Thackeray. Right now we are at Sena Bhavan. There is no sign of Uddhav Thackeray that he will be coming over here, but still you can see the supporters how they are chanting that they are with Shiv Sena and they will do anything for Shiv Sena. Look at that crowd, 100 of people gathered near Shiv Sena Bhavan. It's raining very badly in Mumbai. Still, they all are here and they all are supporting Shiv Sena and MVA government right now. Situation is not good for MVA government, not for Uddhav Thackeray, because the situation and the pace of situation which has been created right now, it's very difficult to get out because numbers are in favor of BJP right now, and some of the numbers are very difficult to escape in the situation where your key person is been a rebel and he has been to Surat right now. In Surat there are 26 to 27 MLA with him, so it's a very difficult situation and Uddhav Thackeray must be thinking and making a plan of action how to handle this situation, because if he doesn't handle the situation, he should be ready for the repercussion that Sarkar will face. So right now the main point for Uddhav Thackeray and his Sarkar MVA is that he needs to plan something big and something very effective that can stop Eknath Shinde. So right now he had sent 2 messenger also to Surat, but it's not working out for them. They are not allowed to go inside and they are not allowed to meet Eknath Shinde and the MLAs which are in Surat resort. So the situation is getting bad for the government, bad for the Uddhav Thackeray, but still supporters have gathered near Sena Bhavan and they are supporting Shiv Sena. There is no sign of Uddhav Thackeray to come here, but he has some important meeting lineups where he will discuss the important points. Eknath Shinde will be the talk, but there will be the other plan which will be very important, that if something bad happens, how to handle the situation. So 6:30 to 7:30, the most important time for today. Shiv, over to you.
Paras, stay with me. All the action happening outside the Shiv Sena Bhavan at this point of time. I'm going to replay the numbers, graphics that we had on our screen in just a moment. Some of our viewers have pointed out an obvious mathematical error in that. We'll just get that updated. I apologize for that. We'll get that updated and put it back on our screen. We said, we had basically pointed out that we pointed out that 113 plus 26, translated to 148. That's not right. It's 139. But we'll get you the mathematics on that in just a moment from now. But let's get you the other top developments on the Maha Aghadi revolt that's happening at a very, very rapid rate. In a huge show of strength amidst this revolt, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray made an appearance just a few minutes ago with Shiv Sena supporters. Uddhav met 17 MLAs at his residence Varsha. 17 MLAs are asserting that no leader is incommunicado and the party is in touch with each MLA. In a big India Today exclusive, Sena MP Sanjay Raut, who is the right-hand man of Uddhav Thackeray, has pinned the blame of the Eknath Shinde rebellion on the Enforcement Directorate, saying that he's just fearing action by the agency. Raut also said that no MLA wanted to go to Surat resort, but they were forcibly taken as well. BJP MLA Sanjay reached the Le Méridien Hotel in Surat, where all the rebel MLAs headed by Eknath Shinde were present amidst plans to shift all rebel MLAs to Ahmedabad to secure them. Top BJP leader from Gujarat looking for a resort on the outskirts of Ahmedabad as we speak, we're hearing. Meanwhile, the Aghadi government is in top gear amidst this major revolt in the party. Ministers say all of that is happening is party's internal issues and all MLAs are in touch. The Aghadi ministers have brushed off claims of a rebellion that will bring their government down. Meanwhile, the mega BJP huddle amidst this revolt in the Aghadi Sarkar in Mumbai. Union ministers Amit Shah met with BJP chief JP Nadda at his residence earlier today. The BJP leadership in Delhi, obviously, well, unofficially at least, monitoring what's happening in Mumbai. They sniff the possibility of bringing the Uddhav Thackeray government down. So this big Maharashtra pot boiler is taking place across 4 cities. In Mumbai, Uddhav Thackeray is getting ready to meet with Shiv Sena MPs. In Delhi, Sharad Pawar has said that there is no threat to the Mahavikas Aghadi. In Surat, Eknath Shinde has mounted his big rebellion to bring down the Uddhav Sarkar. He's taken a pot shot at Uddhav Thackeray as well. In Ahmedabad, the BJP is trying to ready a resort to move all these rebel Shiv Sena MLAs over there to keep them safe, as part of this entire mission to bring down the government. The BJP, remember, has been conspicuously silent about this whole thing. Obviously, there are machinations happening behind the scenes. There's a lot of shadow play going on, but the BJP officially being totally silent about it. Obviously, echoing in the background to this entire drama playing out is former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, the BJP's Devendra Fadnavis, who had predicted that this government would not last its 5 years. Does a government of this kind ever last 5 years? He had laughingly said in a viral soundbite right here on India Today, and it looks like that prophecy might be playing out. Nothing is ever over until it's over in politics, most certainly in Maharashtra politics. But I want to play out that corrected numbers graphic for you once again. Apologies to our viewers. There was a small glitch in that graphic, so I want to take it again for everyone who was watching that. And I thank you to the people who pointed that out online as well. Here's what the numbers actually look like right now. The House strength in the Maharashtra Assembly, this is before the revolt, 288. BJP has the 113. Shiv Sena 64, NCP 57, Congress 44, and the neutral and others, you can see those numbers. Now watch how things dramatically change after Eknath Shinde's revolt. The BJP with 122 plus 26 goes up to 148, which is just above the magic figure, the halfway mark in the assembly. The Shiv Sena is drastically reduced to 38, the NCP to 57, the Congress to 42. They're able to keep their numbers largely intact, but the Shiv Sena loses hugely, taking the BJP into the winning position. This is what the scenario looks like. Remember, the BJP is now in touch with those rebels. So even though it's projected in this graphic as 122 plus 26, that addition hasn't happened just yet. Uspe baat chal rahi hai abhi. That's the negotiations are happening right now between Ahmedabad, Delhi and Surat. Those discussions are taking place. Kamlesh continues to be with us from right outside Uddhav Thackeray's residence in Mumbai at this time. A hectic evening of meetings coming up for the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Kamlesh, anything else you're picking up on what Uddhav's strategy is going to be? Where does Sharad Pawar fit into all of this, Kamlesh?
Well, two things. First, updates on the meetings. Shiv, Uddhav Thackeray will be holding a meeting with party MPs at 7 o'clock. All party MPs have been called here. Remember, Eknath Shinde's son is also an MP from Kalyan Dombivli parliamentary seat. So obviously he would not be here. He will be with his father's camp in Surat. So he will not be here. Other party MPs have been called for the meeting to strategize on what next for the party. At least if the Shiv Sena loses number in the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, the numbers in parliament should be intact. Whether some of the MPs are also in touch with Eknath Shinde camp is what now the Shiv Sena is worried about. Secondly, Deputy Chief Minister from the NCP, Ajit Pawar, will be calling on Chief Minister at around 6:37 before that meeting, or probably during the meeting as well. He might take out time for that meeting with Ajit Pawar. Sharad Pawar, who was in Delhi earlier in this day, is likely to meet Uddhav Thackeray along with Supriya Sule. Now, he is the one who Uddhav Thackeray would be looking on to rescue himself in this, to rescue Uddhav Thackeray from this big trouble that the party is facing. Remember, it was Sharad Pawar who had successfully quelled a rebellion in 2019 when some of his party MLAs had gone with Ajit Pawar, and Sharad Pawar ensured their ghar wapsi at that point in time. But now, Sharad Pawar has made it clear that this is an internal issue of the Shiv Sena and the Shiv Sena will have to handle it. Immediately after that, Uddhav Thackeray took his first step and announced that Eknath Shinde is removed from his party post. Now, the next strategy for Uddhav Thackeray, one obviously, as we discussed earlier, is going to be keeping the doors of communication open with Eknath Shinde. But alongside that, to avoid any further damage to the party, but now the damage has already been done. Eknath Shinde camp is claiming that they might soon go to the number of 36, which is 2/3 of numbers, to obviously escape the anti-defection law at that point. But the demands that would be coming in from Eknath Shinde, they are waiting for that. Uddhav Thackeray at this point is left with no option. All the MLAs that are left with him are only from Mumbai. Of the 17 MLAs, one obviously is Aditya Thackeray. So,
yeah, and this is looking bad. You know, I'm going to talk about the Aditya Thackeray angle in just a moment, Kamlesh, because I want your views on that. But, you know, before that, let's just show our viewers once again how it played out, you know, because this is a live developing story. We've had to remain on the latest pictures like the ones you're seeing right now outside Shiv Sena Bhavan, and inside the Chief Minister's house right now. But in case you missed the incredible drama that India Today broke, first and exclusive 36 minutes before any of our rivals, Maharashtra Minister and Shiv Sena leader Eknath Shinde, get used to hearing that name for a while, viewer. He has plunged the Uddhav Thackeray government, the Maha Vikas Aghadi alliance in the state, into a huge political crisis and an existential crisis. Is it going to survive or not? Eknath Shinde is sitting in a resort hotel in Surat while his party, or his erstwhile party, is facing a survival attack. Eknath Shinde has been elected for 4 back-to-back terms in the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, seen as the right-hand man, number 2 to Uddhav Thackeray. Take a look at this. A nail-biting political thriller playing out in Maharashtra after India Today's big agenda-setting political newsbreak. The man on your screen has created a huge political storm. Senior Shiv Sena Cabinet Minister Eknath Shinde, who has now turned rebel. Holed up with over 26 MLAs at a resort in Gujarat's Surat, India Today's scoop revealed that it may be Chief Minister Uddhav's son and Minister Aditya Thackeray who may have alienated Shinde by denying him a free political hand. According to sources, Eknath Shinde was not happy about being sidelined in the Rajya Sabha and Maharashtra MLC polls recently. In fact, he was upset even right when the Aghadi government was formed, harboring chief ministerial ambitions after being elected leader of the Sena Legislative Party, but pipped to the post, obviously, by the Thackeray Uddhav. Shinde's close aides say, despite being seen as number 2 in the Uddhav government, there was a lot of meddling in his urban development ministry, allegedly by Uddhav's son, Aditya Thackeray, and even his aides. Eknath Shinde wields considerable influence in Thane, Kalyan and Palghar districts. It was Shinde who had wrestled back Aghadi MLAs during the Ajit Pawar rebellion in 2019. He felt cheated with what he perceived as a raw deal from Chief Minister Uddhav and his son Aditya. Shinde tried to highlight his anger in the recent Dharamveer movie on late Sena leader Anand Dighe. The movie is said to have portrayed Uddhav Thackeray in bad light and angered the Sena leadership. We broke the story first, and we'll keep you posted on what this Maha Potboiler is unfolding into. Bureau Report, India Today. Big questions we're asking as part of this unfolding political thriller coverage that's taking place in Mumbai. You've seen the pictures that are on your screen right now. India Today's cameras and reporters are at each one of the spots where this story is unfolding, from Mumbai to Surat to Ahmedabad and to Delhi. But here are the big questions that we are asking, and I'm sure many of our viewers are asking as well. Is the Uddhav Thackeray government under threat of collapse? We've just shown you the numbers. The numbers speak for themselves. The numbers are precarious. Let's face it, it's a precarious situation for Uddhav Thackeray. Is the BJP waiting for the final kill in Maharashtra? Well, rhetorical question. The BJP has been waiting to throw out the Sena Sarkar for a long time now. For 2 years, since that entire drama in 2019 with Ajit Pawar, they've been biding their time and waiting for an opportunity for Badla. So the answer to that question very simply is yes. Did the Sena miss the rumblings of Shinde's mutiny? Perplexingly, I think the answer could be yes, because the Sena appeared to have made a series of decisions that alienated Eknath Shinde further and further. From the Rajya Sabha election to the MLC elections, there seemed to have been a series of bad decisions that escalated and deteriorated the situation into an all-out crisis that India Today broke earlier this morning. Can Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar reunite the MLAs who've gone astray and are sitting now in that hotel in Surat? Well, remains to be seen, because they're not even able to speak to them. Forget about convince them. No communication lines are open. The emissaries sent by Uddhav have not even been able to meet Eknath Shinde and co. And finally, is Maharashtra staring at a possible government change again? It's possible. It's very, very possible. It's one of the theoretical possibilities. That's precisely what this rebellion appears to be all about. And remember that the fact that the BJP is in touch with these rebels right now, the numbers translate into, the magic figure for the BJP means it is definitely possible for the government to collapse in Maharashtra. But nothing is over, like we always say, until it's over. Let's go straight back to Kamlesh Sutar, who's live outside Uddhav Thackeray's residence. Big meetings coming up in just a very short while from now. Kamlesh, Sharad Pawar is headed back to Mumbai, we are told, later this evening. Are there any late night huddles expected after Uddhav meets with his MPs?
Well, this night is endless, and when such type of political dramas happen, obviously all the activities take place during the night. We have seen how MLAs were shifted to resorts earlier in 2019 as well, and even during small elections. There's going to be no end to the meetings and huddles that will take place. Of course, the ones which are officially known and the ones which would take place behind the curtains. But there is a lot of activity that is expected with Sharad Pawar's entry. It would be interesting to see what role Sharad Pawar will have to say. But whatever has to be done by Uddhav Thackeray is what the Mahavikas Aghadi constituents are clear about. Both the Congress and NCP say that it is Shiv Sena's problem, and though they have shown their trust in Uddhav Thackeray, saying that Uddhav Thackeray will find a way out of this. But for Uddhav Thackeray, the biggest problem is how does he get his Eknath back? But not Shiv. I would like to mention a couple of things that led to the rebellion. On Sunday, Uddhav Thackeray was addressing his party MLAs who were placed inside a 5-star hotel in suburban Mumbai just a day before the election. So like 48 hours before, barely 48 to 60 hours before Uddhav Thackeray was speaking to them. That was the day of Shiv Sena's foundation day, Shiv Sena's 56th foundation day, when Uddhav Thackeray was giving a pep talk to his party workers, party MLAs. At that point, Uddhav Thackeray made two interesting references. One, he would not like to have traitors in his party. He would not like to have people who would sell their mother's milk to others, is what Uddhav Thackeray had said in that meeting when he addressed his party meeting. Secondly, there was a cryptic reference. Now, we initially couldn't decipher that, but today when we speak and after that rebellion, I could easily say that it was aimed at Eknath Shinde. Perhaps Uddhav Thackeray had that hunch that Eknath Shinde was on his way out, or he was going to indulge into something which is adventurous. Uddhav Thackeray said that don't think that you are indispensable for the party. Anybody who wants to go and join hands with the BJP can do that. But what after that? If you go out, there are several options that are open for the party. party. That is what Uddhav Thackeray said, and perhaps Uddhav Thackeray's
Right.
speech there was hint enough that he was sensing something. Perhaps he was aware of what Eknath Shinde was planning to do.
I just want to tell all of our viewers that, Kamlesh is one journalist who probably knows more about what's going on than most people. Kamlesh also happens to be the best-selling author of a book called 36 Days, which chronicled the last time such a potboiler happened in the Game of Thrones of Maharashtra, the famous, aftermath of the 2019 election. Read that book. Kamlesh knows everything about what's going on right now, and that's the reason why we broke the story, and that's the reason why we will keep you ahead on this as well. Kamlesh, thanks for the moment, my friend. Thank you. We will keep coming back to you. Like you said, it's going to be a long night for Maharashtra politics. Okay, and now we've got some breaking news coming in from Delhi. Absolutely revolting, shocking video as part of the Congress protests in favor of Rahul Gandhi have been captured on camera. This is the Mahila Congress president in Hyderabad, Netta D'Souza, has been caught on camera spitting at the police and women security personnel at a Save Rahul protest. Netta D'Souza is going viral now for these images that have been captured on camera, where she appears to spit at the police and the women security officers after she was bundled into a bus. This is part of the Save Rahul protests. This video, among many, going viral at this point of time. Netta D'Souza is head of the Mahila Congress there. And these images, of course, being circulated on social media and going viral, not the kind of attention the Congress would have wanted on day 5 of Rahul Gandhi's grilling. This was captured in a Rahul Bachao protest that was taking place earlier today. This is the Mahila Congress chief got on camera spitting contemptuously at the forces and the police as part of this protest. There's been no clarification. There's been no clarification that's come in yet, no apology that's come in yet. But very much like other dramatic acts that have been seen as part of the Congress protests in Delhi today, on day 5 of Rahul Gandhi's grilling, here comes the latest. Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP with us live. Shehzad, you've no doubt seen this video of the Mahila Congress chief appearing to be spitting at the police. Have you seen the video? Your reactions, Shehzad?
Yes, this is absolutely disgusting. It reeks of the mindset the Congress party has, and no sane person would ever spit on that too on female cops or female police personnel. But this has become a pattern here. If you notice, Renuka Chaudhary held the collar of a cop in Hyderabad. In Assam, they beat up another cop. In Delhi, they've been indulging in violence. They've been doing tire burning and holding people to ransom. And now this act of spitting on cops and police personnel, only so that the first family of corruption can't be held to account. This shows the mindset of the Congress party, and I hope, Shiv, if the Congress party people are watching your show, I hope Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Vadra will tell us what action they will take on this lady, because they haven't taken any action on Sheikh Hussain, who said he wanted the Prime Minister to die -- they've not taken any action on Subodh Khan Sahay, and now you have this third instance. So I hope the Congress party will watch your show, see this disgusting act, and tell us what action they will take on this particular person.
Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP reacting there to this video of the Mahila Congress chief appearing to spit at the cops as part of this Rahul Bachao protest. We'll keep a track of that story. Remember, the Congress holding legitimate protests on Rahul Gandhi's grilling, but instances of this kind from Renuka Chaudhary to Sheikh Hussain to Subodh Khan Sahay and now to the Mahila Congress chief completely grabbing attention away from the actual substantive protest that's taking place. We'll keep a track of this story and let you know if there's a reaction from the Congress party. But the story that is big and playing out right now is not in Delhi, it's in Maharashtra, because that's where these 6 images on your screen are telling the full story of what India Today broke 36 minutes before everybody else. And that's why they're still following us. All the news breaks, special broadcast with Preeti Chaudhary begins after this very short break. It's a super prime time on the battle for Maharashtra. That's coming up next with Preeti.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com or call 9999892171. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Everyone's busy finding what's trending. You're busy finding out why. India Today, for those who research before reacting. Download the India Today app now. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. You are...
Mango, pharma, textiles, cow dung. What's really common in these things? They're all items that India exports. Yes, you heard that right. Along with wheat, cereals, vegetables and more, India is expected to export 192 metric tons of cow dung to Kuwait. But why? Agricultural scientists of Kuwait have found cow dung to be very beneficial in date palm cultivation. This comes in the midst of the Prophet Muhammad controversy. Scientists in Kuwait used cow dung in date palm cultivation and found that it increased the yield. After this, Kuwait decided to import cow dung from India. This is the largest foreign order for cow dung that India has ever received. The orders are being sent from Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. India is the largest producer of cow dung. Now the government is also preparing a strategy to focus on the export of cow dung. The current consignment will be sent from Kanakapura railway station in Rajasthan to Mumbai. From there, the dung will be taken to Kuwait by ship. This consignment has been packed under the supervision of the Customs Department at Sunrise Organic Park at Sri Pinjrapol Gaushala in Jaipur. India has 30 crore cattle and about 30 lakh tons of cow dung is produced. In India, cow dung is mainly used as fuel. Internationally, it is used by Britain and China for producing electricity.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
You are watching India Today. You are watching India Today.